other one. So today we're working on the BM and we are fitting a swirl flap delete kit, which is in here. I'll open it up in a minute, let you just have a look what's inside. Basically this process is, it's not hard, but it's longed out sort of. So you've got to take the EGR off to then get the intake manifold off, and then within the intake manifold there'll be swirl flaps, and with this kit we're going to delete them because they're known to basically break off and fall into the engine and knock your engine up. So it's always best to delete them because they serve no purpose anyway. I don't know why BM put them in there. So yeah, let's crack on, get the EGR off, get the intake manifold off, and then we'll work in the workshop to delete the swirl flaps. Guys, for the process to get the intake manifold off, we're going to have to remove all this top bit, so we'll do that first, get that removed, and then we can work on getting the EGR off and then get the intake manifold off. Flip all these on both sides, it should just come off. And then we're going to get either a 10mm or an 8mm, I'll let you know in a minute, and we're going to take the filter out of there, get that off, and then we can work on getting this panel off. All these, so there's two at the front, that's actually snapped, so that can actually, yeah, I need to take that out really. Most of these haven't been put back. I think that is it. Literally just going to pick this up, and it has your filter inside for your sets in your cabin and your pollen. Let's put that there. Disconnect anything that's sort of onto this, because this is going to come out. So I think it's just these two here for your, I think they're bonnet sensors. We'll get them off, and now I'm not too sure how this, I think it's just an 8 down there and an 8 on the other side, but I'll let you know if there's any more. So come down there and remove that one there. And there's one in there. And yeah, it will come out. We need to remove this first though. This is quite tricky to get out, not gonna lie. That one's already broke off. I'm gonna work on getting this out. Right guys, so let's get that out, you literally just pull it. So pull it, it'll come out, and then we can remove this like that. So now you've got a lot more space and you can actually get to the intake manifold. This is going to have to come off, and you're going to have to bend this out of the way. But yeah, that black plastic that was holding this in and just undid it, so we can sort of move these about and sort of get round and pull them this way to get the intake manifold out. I'm going to find out what size they are, and we're going to take that off, and we might have to undo these as well. Yeah, but we'll see how we can get on. If we can get it out without doing that, then we'll do that. You want to find yourself a 5mm Allen key and undo, there's one there and one in there. It looks like we should be able to remove it, or at least get it loose without taking those strut bars off. Just get in. There's one loose. And yeah, we might have to undo that bar to get to that other one. Right, so both of them are loose. You don't have to undo this. and then that can, as long as we can get under here, that will need undoing as well from our little loom. Yeah. See if I can wiggle it out. And then like sort of lift this up as you do it, and you'll be able to like bring it this way and then out. It wasn't hard to get out at all, but now we can see the intake manifold, we can get to all the bolts for it. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove the EGR. Right guys, so to remove the EGR, all you've got to do is undo this, and then you've got 4 Allen key bolts, and remove this pipe as well, and that should come off. Let's give us more room. I just removed the front bit of the intake for the going to the air filter. It's just 3 20 torx bits, so it's easy to do. Now we can actually see underneath the EGR, so we can get the 2 bottom bolts loose. Right guys, so then you want to remove these 2 clips and sort of like push the other clip out of the way. You might have to fully undo these. And that one's really loose, and now all you do is bend it round and that should come off, and do the same with the other one. And there we go guys, so remove the boost line as well, then you get your fucking dirty EGR out. And that little pipe will come out with it. Dirty. What I've done now is I've gone round and I have cut like looms off which are wrong with cable ties, because you won't be able to get the inlet manifold off otherwise. And I've loosened all of these, so I'm going to go ahead, take all these out. You will need a UJ to get to that one, or a very small socket, or you can even try a spanner on it if you wanted to. Make sure you unplug the sensor at the back as well. I think that's your O2 sensor, so unplug that. And yeah, then we're going to undo all these, and then I think there's a bolt there, or a nut there, and then there's a nut on the back. We'll go remove them and then it should come out. Right guys, so these bolts are actually like threaded into the intake manifold, so they won't come all the way out, which is good because then it'll stop you from losing them. So you literally want to do it until they're dead loose and you can pull them, and then we'll go ahead and undo the other 2 bolts on the other side, and then it should come out. Where this power cable is, there's actually a bracket which connects to the intake manifold. Now there should be a 10mm in there. Make sure to remove that, otherwise you'll be pulling all the wires when you're trying to get it out and it won't go. As well as the bolts on the side, there's actually bolts down on each of these, 3 there, so remove them and then they should finally come out. I didn't realise they were there, but we'll remove them now and then the intake should come out. So now they are removed, this should be loose and you'll be able to lift it up. wires, there should be tiny E-bits in the top of them. Remove them to give you a bit more leeway, and then when you get it undone, there's actually a plug right there that needs to be removed, and then it should finally come out. This side as well there, just undo it from the clip, which don't want to come off, and I don't want to lose it, so I'll do that off camera and then bloody get on with the swirl flap delete. Right guys, now once the intake manifold is out, what I'm going to go and do is remove all the seals. So I've removed them four, we just need to get these ones out. Now you're going to need a T20 bit, and what we're going to do is we're going to remove the actuator first, and then we're going to remove these four sort of plugs that connect onto the swirl flap that's inside. Just to let you all know how this works, the actuator actually moves across and shuts the swirl flaps like that. So we're going to go ahead and remove this. Anyway, we'll leave it on for now, because I don't want to snap anything. And we'll go ahead and remove each 8 bolts on here. So we can actually unclip that, and then we can get to the final one. Right, now once they're all off, I think these will just pull out. No, because it's never that easy. Yeah guys, so they just need a wiggle. So there's the first one out, how dirty that is. So they literally just need a wiggle. So like, pry from the top and then from the side, and they'll just pop out like that. From the top and the side. Get that last one out. There we go lads. And now guys, I'm going to go ahead and clean it up, because there's no point in taking it off and still have loads of soot and shit in it. So I'm going to clean it up as much as I can, and then we'll get the seals back on and the delete kit on, and we can put it back together. Right guys, now we can go ahead and fit these blank off plates in to each of the swirl flap locations. And then using the old Torx bits, we're just going to tighten them up. And now we'll go ahead and tighten these up. Remember that from Negatite because they are going into plastic. Just sort of pinch them up a bit. So that one's spun. So I don't go too tight, but should be okay. So then we'll go ahead and put the seals in. Guys, so there's all the new seals in and the blanking plates in. It's ready to go back in the car now. I've actually lost one of these. Not the actual stem bit, the rubber bit, but we'll just have to make do with what we've got, and we'll get it back fitted. If you just follow the steps you did to take it out, you'll easily get it back in. But I hope I helped some of you. Make sure when you put it back in, none of the seals fall off. It fell off on me a couple of times, so I had to take it back off, put them back on and get it back on. Just be careful when doing it. But yeah guys, hope helps some of you. If you haven't done your swirl flap, get it done, because you don't want your engine to go bang when they snap. And I'll see you guys next time.